Hi, I'm Mark Booth, Director of Student Services for Noblesville Schools. Today I'm representing the Hamilton County Leadership Academy, class of 2011. Today we are going to take you on a tour of our Autism House. The title of this video is The Autism House, Visual Supports for the Home. And what we would like to do is take you on a tour of our arranged autism house that we have here and the visuals that we set up that will be informative and helpful for you to set up for your child with autism or any other child that you have in your family. These visuals will be helpful for them. Our two presenters today will be Aaron Diefendorf from Hamilton Boone Madison Special Services and Kristie Lofland from the Indiana University Resource Center for Autism. Come walk with us and take a journey through our autism house. We welcome you.
Hi, I'm Kristie Lofland. I'm an educational consultant with the Indiana Resource Center for Autism with the Indiana Institute for Disabilities and Community. Today we're going to show you some visual supports for the living room. I'm going to point out some things today. For example, this is a visual support for TV when the TV is available. You can have a sign that says no TV when not available and then just flip it up when the TV is available. Here we have a 5-point scale to indicate volume for the television. A 1 would be no volume, a 2 would be very, very low volume, a 3 would be normal volume, 5 would be way too loud, so that we can indicate to the child that, hey, the TV's here and we need it to come down to there, type thing. Over here is a TV schedule. So it may be nice to plan out if there's going to be any arguments over when the TV is about who's going to watch what, when, so that they'll know ahead of time who's going to watch what TV show, and what day. Down here you'll notice that we have all the shelves labeled for games, books, magazines, that sort of thing. And we have choice boards. There's a choice board on what game you want to play. This is a video board, so I can say I want to watch Cars, so you'll know what video they want to choose. This is a turn-taking card, so that if you have more than one child at home, you can decide whose turn it is first, then next, then last, and you can interchange the pictures on that card. Also, we have a visual here for when the babysitter is coming, because oftentimes our children with autism need to have that information about a babysitter's coming. The parents are going to leave, the babysitter's okay, and the parents will be returning home. These are some visual supports that could be used in the bedroom to help individuals on the autism spectrum. You'll notice with our chest of drawers that we have all the drawers labeled in terms of what clothes need to go into what drawer. We have a basket here for socks. On the mirror we have displayed, and it doesn't necessarily need to be on the mirror, it's just that's where we have it displayed. Here is a visual routine for getting dressed. Here's one for putting on and taking off your pajamas. This is one for getting your clothes out that you're going to need to wear. And this is a checklist about before we go out today, what are the things that we have checked? Have we smelled our armpits? Do they smell fresh? Are our clothes clean? Is our nose clean? Is our face clean? Do we need to comb our hair? Are our clothes neat? Make sure that you've gone to the toilet. So it has just the steps of things that we need to do before we leave the house. We also have some other visuals about getting dressed. On the dresser, we have here today's chores. So if we have some chores that the child's supposed to do, this is just a document frame that we bought. And then when the chore is done, they can put it over here in the finished box. Here we have a visual for how to put your shoes on. And we have a basket or a container to keep all of our shoes in. On the bed, we have a visual on how to make the bed, and we have 2 different ways to show you how you would make the bed, the steps that you need to make the bed. On the dresser here, we have a little piece of foam art with an X. This indicates X marks the spot. So wherever I have this is where you put your glass. If I put it on the floor, that's where you put your shoes. You just teach the child that this is where you put things on the X. Here in the toy area, I have a bin with toys labeled, Legos, toy cars, puzzles, and then the child has a choice of I want to play with, and it has corresponding pictures that match what's in the drawer. On the bulletin board here, again, we have a lot of different examples of nighttime schedules or nighttime routine. For example, this one has pictures about bath time, pajamas, brush your teeth, have a story, then good night. There are several different morning routines. Here's your morning schedule. Here's another morning schedule using mainly pictures. Here's another morning schedule about getting ready. So these are some of the visuals that we have for the bedroom.
My name is Erin Diefendorf, and I'm one of the autism consultants for the Hamilton Boone Madison Special Services Cooperative. Today I'm going to show you some visual supports that could be used in the dining room area. As we know, the dining room area can be used for more than one thing. We eat our meals in the dining room, breakfast room area, but also many children do their homework in this area. So we're going to focus on the homework component first. At the table, we have a laptop set up. Many of our students have difficulty with handwriting, and so frequently they like to do most of their work on a computer. So we would leave the computer here available. When the student is not to be using the computer, we could use the no computer sign and then flip it to the back when it's acceptable for them to be using that. We also have a book here that has a bookmark in it, which is really a helpful tool for our students because it actually tells them what page to begin on and what page they are to stop on. One of the things that we try to focus on with many of our students with autism is to try to help them become as independent as possible. So the homework area should be set up so that they can work as independently as possible. This is what we refer to as our trifold, our stoplight trifold, red, yellow, and green. When the student has it placed in this direction, it says I'm working fine. If they're having a little difficulty, I need help, but I can keep working. When it turns to red, I need help and I cannot keep working. So the student can flip this around so that they can indicate to whoever is supervising that area if they're needing some additional assistance. This is also another little I need whatever. It might be I need more supplies, I need help, I need a snack, something that the student could fill in as they're completing their homework. On this bulletin board, we have a variety of different supports that would help a student become organized and to know exactly the procedure that they're supposed to complete. With some of our younger students, we'll use the actual numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to go through my papers with my parent. I need to do my work, take a break, and then my work is finished. Here's another example. Open the folder, write your name, do worksheet, have an adult check, put in folder, put folder in backpack. As you can see, we have a green and a red folder. When the homework is to be done, we put it into the green folder, and then when it's completed, we put it into the red folder so that it will be returned to school. Frequently, our parents will tell us, well, he did his homework last night, but it never gets turned in. So having a procedure of putting it into a finished folder and making sure that that returns to the backpack so that it will be turned in the next day is a very helpful strategy. We also have a few other things here, a multiplication table. We have an ABC chart. We have the script letters. We could have a number line. We have another procedure where the student actually knows my homework's in the red folder, or I've got my homework completed. I think that was at the end. He's putting it in his backpack. I have this backwards a little bit. Do your worksheet. Have an adult check. Put in the folder, and make sure the folder gets in the backpack. We also have a container here where we keep our supplies. It's important for the student to have all of the necessary supplies, whether it be pencils, pens, crayons, markers, all of these available in one area so that they do not have to go around the house to secure those. When they do, they're easily distracted and it's then very difficult to get them back and focused on their work. This is also a nice little instrument for communicating with the school as to what happened the evening before at home. For dinner, what I had to eat, what I watched on television, if we had any company, what I played with, if we went out somewhere, and I went to bed at what time. It's very important to have good home-to-school and school-to-home communication. Oftentimes, homework can be a very frustrating time, so we have a little chart over here that helps a student on the 5-point scale again know exactly where they are in terms of their anxiety level. Number 1 would be I'm doing my homework, I'm calm, things are going well. All the way up to number 3, I'm stopping working, I can't work without help, I need to get help from an adult. All the way up to 5 where I'm throwing a tantrum and I really need to leave this area and go somewhere to calm down. We do have some materials here for a calming space, a pillow, a blanket, Some of our students have very strong sensory needs, and sometimes to help calm, they need to have an area where they can go and have a quiet space and have some of their favorite fidget toys, a squeezy toy, something to help them relax and to calm down. Now we're going to look at the dining room from a different perspective. It is also the area where we eat our meals. And so on this side of the table, we have it set more for that. Here is a procedure card that talks about eating breakfast. So it says, eat my breakfast, take my vitamins and my meds, clear the dishes, pack my backpack, and wait for the bus. A simple card like this can help a student be much more independent in the morning and very, very successful. We also have another procedure card that's by the table. Here it says, put your napkin in your lap as you sit, cut your food, and chew. These are also put on with Velcro so that if you need to, you can take them off after each step. We have a template here that helps a student learn to actually set the table. It's important for them to be able to do that, and it's also a great chore, a good learning task. So they would know that the cup goes here, that the fork would go on top of the napkin here, that you put the plate here, the knife and the spoon. It's just a very visually clear as to what is expected and shows the student exactly how to set their place. On this board behind me, we have some additional things about eating, appropriate manners, my rules for eating, use the napkin, use my fork and spoon, chew with my mouth closed, take small bites, talk with an empty mouth, and eat slowly. Then we have some short social narratives that give a little more explanations for things like, how do I eat spaghetti? And what are the great manners at the dinner table? And how do I set the table for a meal? We also use the incredible 5-point scale for volume level, sitting around the table. One being a whisper, all the way up to using an outside voice, which would be a number 5. And we can indicate to the student or the child that we need them to be more at the 2 to 3 level when they're talking at the table. This is another example of the 5-point scale with a little bit, that might have a little bit more information in terms of the text. So these are some visual supports that you might want to use in the dining area, in the homework area, and we hope that they will be helpful.